If you ever felt like you're the most undisciplined person in the world, constantly starting and stopping schedules, always saying, I really want to stick to a schedule, but I just can't stay consistent, then this video is for you. So, discipline is overrated, right? What actually matters is creating a system that works for you, not against you. So, today we are breaking down how to stick to a schedule without relying on superhuman willpower. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura, and if you're new here, we talk about productivity, creativity, personal growth, mostly for people with a full-time job and as hustles. So I used to think that people who stuck to a schedule just had more discipline than me. I realized that I didn't need to be perfect, right? I just needed a system, a routine that worked with my energy, my habits, and my lifestyle. And if that's what you're looking for, you're 100% in the right place. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're notified every single week when I drop a new video. Trust me, what I'm about to share will really change how you approach your daily tasks forever. First, let's talk about the 3 common misconceptions that people have about sticking to a schedule. The first thing is you need perfect discipline to follow a schedule. You do not. You need to understand yourself and create a system based on who you are. The second myth is successful people naturally stick to a routine. They do not. What they've done is they've understood their energy levels and built a system around that. And the third myth is one slip up means total failure. It doesn't. You need to focus on progress and not perfection because you will never attain perfection. You need to understand that discipline is a skill, it's not a personality trait. And before we dive in, if you want to apply some of these techniques and start creating a schedule that works for you, go to the description box below and download my 5-step guide to planning your week without burnout and without overwhelm. The first thing is you want to start small with anchor habits. Let's be real, most of the time trying to overhaul your entire schedule overnight really doesn't work. What really works is starting small, right? Anchoring new habits that you want to build to already existing ones. And this is based on habit stacking from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. The idea is when you link a new habit to an already existing one, your brain is more likely to remember and follow through. So the fact that you really want to do something doesn't mean you're going to do it. It doesn't mean you're going to remember to do it or do it at the time that you said you wanted to do it. In order to build the habit of doing something consistently, you have to trick your brain and reflect on your own personal workflow to incorporate this new habit at the right time when it will be easier for you to actually get it done. For example, journaling is something that I've always wanted to do, but it was hard for me to actually get it done, to actually start doing it. It was hard for me to build that habit of journaling. So I had to find the right time to actually get it done and choose the right prompt that is going to motivate me to start journaling. And then I decided the best time for me to journal is going to be at night before I go to bed. It wasn't in the morning because I 100% wasn't going to get it done. So before I started journaling, my routine was once I get in bed, I read a few pages and then I fall asleep. But now I had to anchor this new habit to an already existing one. So what I do is once I get in bed, I journal for a couple of minutes. I write at least 5 things that I am grateful for. This is something that I would love to do. This will motivate me to really reflect on my day and be grateful, right? It is something that I love to always reflect and be grateful and be thankful to God for all of the blessings. So I knew that this prompt was something that was going to motivate me to actually start journaling and doing it before going to bed, before reading. That was 100% the right time for me to do this. So once I get in bed, I journal, write down at least 5 things I'm grateful for, read a few pages, and then go to sleep. So you need to understand that your brain isn't fighting against you, right? It is trying to conserve energy. So what you want to do is you want to work with it and not against it. The second thing that you want to do in order to help you maintain your schedule is to use visual cues and environmental designs. So if your schedule only lives in your head or in an app that you really never open, then it's never ever gonna stay. You want to make your routines visible and unavoidable. Sometimes visual triggers can really cue your brain into action without needing any motivation. One thing you can do is setting up your space for success. So you want to have your computer set on your space a night before. If you know, okay, in the morning, I really want to get to work on my side project, have your computer set on your space, right, a night before and get it organized with cues that say, hey, it's time to work. Another thing you can do is removing friction from your routine. For example, For me, every night I organize my gym clothes the night before I go to sleep, right? Because I do not want to wake up and start figuring out, okay, what am I going to wear to the gym this morning? No, I just want to have that there. So as I wake up, I wear it and then I go do my workout. So I organize my gym clothes the night before. I fill my bottle with ice the night before. And every Friday evening, because I do go out maybe to a coffee shop for deep work for on Saturday mornings, what I do is I organize my clothes the night before and I organize my bag. Like I put my computer, my keyboard, everything that I need for the next day during my deep work session. I organize all of that in my bag the night before. Now, doing this just helps me knock off any kind of excuse that I have for not getting the task that I want to get done. Another thing you can do is creating visual cues and reminders. So what you can do is you can print out your weekly schedule and post maybe on your fridge, on your mirror, on your workspace. You also want to set reminders on your phone for your tasks and your events so you do not forget. So making your schedules visible means making it stick. Go down to the link in the description box below and download my 5-step weekly planning guide, which includes a weekly planning template. You can print out every single week and post on your fridge or your mirror or your wall or around your workspace, wherever you need to, so you can make your schedule stick. So quick question for you before we go ahead. What is your biggest challenge when it comes to you sticking to a schedule? Drop a comment below. And we're going to go to the third tip, which is schedule with flexibility. Now, one of the biggest reasons that people do not stick to a schedule is because it's too strict. Life happens and your system should allow for that. Also, our plans do fail because we do have the tendency to underestimate how long it takes for us to complete a task. So having a flexible structure helps us stay committed even when plans shift. What you want to do is plan for imperfection, right? Build in buffer time. So let's be real. There are days when you just do not have the energy to work on your side project, especially after a really long, annoying day at work. So you need to account for those periods in your schedule. Now, using the macro scheduling method is one of the ways I do that, as well as scheduling rest days. Now, Fridays, I do not work on my side projects, right? Those are my rest days. However, if I had one of those days within the week where I was just exhausted and I didn't get to complete my task that was scheduled for one of those days, and I instead chose to rest, then I can use Fridays to catch up on those tasks. So what you want to do is plan for imperfection, right? Build in buffer time. I use the macro scheduling method for time blocking. This is simply mapping the type of tasks and not the exact time. So instead of saying I'll edit a video from 6 to 7 p.m., I block out 7 to 9 p.m. on my calendar every Mondays to Wednesdays, where I know that I will edit one video, which usually takes between 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes, depending on how long this video is. And sometimes I do have an early start, where I start at 6 p.m. It all just depends on the day. You also want to create contingency plans for low energy days. Also, disruptions happen, right? And the way to bounce back from those scheduled disruptions is to 1, account for buffer time during your planning, and 2, reprioritize the tasks that you did not complete. And all of this works if you are absolutely realistic about the time that you actually have and do not overcommit, as well as focus on one thing at a time and do not have a long to-do list of tasks that really do not move the needle for your side project. Now, if you want to learn more about how to create a to-do list that actually works, make sure you watch this video right here. We're going into more detail on how to do just that. Now, the final tip to create a schedule that sticks is to use the don't break the chain method. So consistency and progress beats perfection every single time. Now, one of the simplest ways to stay consistent is to use the don't break a chain method, which was popularized by Jerry Seinfeld. Now, how it works is you set a simple daily goal, even if it's just for 10 minutes, and track it on your calendar. Each day you follow through, you want to mark an X. And don't break the chain, right? You kind of get it. So once you mark an XXX, you're not breaking the chain. That's simply where the name is from. That's just a very simple way for you to track your progress, right? You can either use a physical calendar or you can use a digital calendar. I think the physical calendar is going to be easier and more effective, right? Because it's right there. You see it every single day. And if you break the chain, it's in your face, right? And you can also use tools like Notion, which actually has habit tracking templates, already designed for you. You can just leverage those templates to track your habits. What you want to do is choose one core routine, right? Like working on your side project for 20 minutes. And then track that daily with a red X or a black X or whatever. And I guarantee you, after a week, you're not going to want to break the chain. So you do not need to be perfectly disciplined to stick to a schedule. You just need the right system. So start small, make it visible, build in flexibility, and use strict-based motivation to stay on track. So try one of the strategies this week and let me know in the comment section what is your biggest challenge when it comes to you sticking to a schedule. Now, if this video helps you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more realistic productivity strategies. Share with someone who is struggling to stick to their schedules. And don't forget to go down to the description box below and download your 5 weekly planning guide for maximum success without burnout and without overwhelm. And this will 100% help you start planning for your weekly routines. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.